Hello everyone and welcome to Dopa Apparel by TSK. Today I'll be teaching you on how to make a stylish Bubu dress with a snatched waist. If this sounds interesting to you, why not sit back, relax and watch the video till the end. Now I'll be making use of a 2 yards fabric. That is what I have currently at the moment. I use my scissors, my ruler, I'm going to use my chalk and my tape rule. And we are going to be starting with the length of the dress. My total length is 56 inches, but I'm going to measure out 57 inches, one each additional for the same allowance. Let's measure together. This 56. Okay, I'm going to add 1 inch to make it 57. Okay, you chalk it down. Make sure your fabric is well aligned. As you are chalking, you put it, okay, and make sure it is well aligned, okay, and you roll it across. Okay, when you're done, okay, you pick up your scissors and you cut it out. Just be careful, make sure your fabric is well aligned. You cut it out. Okay, now we are going to be making use of the 57 inches length fabric. Okay, now let's go over to the upper side. Don't forget the fabric is folded into 4. The fabric is folded into 4. Okay, we are cutting the front and the back together. Now you measure your shoulder. My shoulder is 15 inches divided by 2. It will give you 7.5. You chalk it down, 7.5. Okay, that's the point. Yes, where I have my shoulders. Okay, then the remaining one is going to be for the sleeve. Like I said, we are making use of 2 yards fabric. You can make use of 3, 4, depending on how big you want your bubu to be. Now we are measuring the neckline. The neckline is, I'm using 3 inches width. Like I said, I'm cutting the front and the back together. I'm making use of 3 inches width. Yes, the fabric is folded into 4. Okay, and I'm coming down by 1 inch. I'm coming down by 1 inch for the back. So I'm going to cut the same thing for the front and the back. Then later I'm going to separate it and cut the front neck, which I want for the dress. Okay, now we are tracing out the 1 inch because we went down by 1 inch, both for the front and the back. Okay, after that you go towards the extreme where you have the sleeve. Okay, you can see me going towards where I will have the sleeve. You come down by 1, and the essence of coming down by 1 is for you to have a slopy shoulder. Okay, you are going to give it a slant by 1 inch. So you are going to connect from that 1 inch to the neckline. You can see it from that 1 inch to the neckline. That is how we are going to be cutting it out for it to have a slanted shoulder. Okay, you can see it, yes, from the neckline to the outside where we'll have the sleeve. Now we are going to measure out our hip line. Now my hip line is, I usually use 23 inches or 24, but for this tutorial I'm going to be using 24 because I want to give it a little cow shape. Yes, it's 2 inches, but if you want the cow to be well, for it to come out very well, you can use like 3 inches, 3 yards of fabric or more. So, but like I said, we are using 2 inches for this tutorial, but I want it to have a little cow. Okay, so I had to mark my hip line. I'm using 24. Okay, you can see me marking it out. My hip line is 24. Okay, now on the hip line we are going to measure my hip. My hip is 40 divided by 4 because the fabric is folded into 4. It's 10, but I'm going to add extra inches just to make, since it's a free dress, that we are making. So I'm going to add a free some allowances that will make it free. So I'm using 13 and half. 13 and half. Okay, that is what I am marking. Now this 13 and half, I will go down towards the end of the fabric, towards the down part. I will measure the same 13 and half inches. That is 10 inches for the hip allowance and 3.5 inches extra for ease, for you to make, for the gown to be free. You understand, we are making a bubu dress. Okay, so I'm going to measure 13.5 inches at the down part. Okay, let's do that together. 13.5 inches. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to rule from the hip line straight down to the down part. So from the hip line coming up, I try to make a curve from the hip line upward towards where we slanted our shoulders. Okay, take it up towards where our sleeve is going to come out. Okay, just to have a little curl. Okay, you can see me coming up from the hip line, coming up towards where we have our sleeve. Okay, now from that point where we came down by 1, I'm going to be taking 9 inches measurement for my sleeve, my round sleeve, my armhole, sorry. I'm going to be taking 9 inches, and I will come in by 1 inch. I will come in by 1 inch just to cover out my sleeve. I hope you're following me. I'm coming in by 1 inch. I came down by 9, and I'm coming in by 1 inch just to carve out my sleeve. Now we are going to cut. So we are cutting from the down part. We're cutting it up from where we'll measure our 13.5 inches. So coming up, okay, we cut it to get to the, okay, we're on the hip line area. So we are going to cut it. Just follow the line, okay, and make sure your fabric is aligning so that one part will not be bigger than the other. Okay, and at this point you can see that we are done cutting, and we want to cut the neckline. Like I said, we are cutting the front and the back together. We went 3 inches width and we came down by 1. Okay, now we are slanting the shoulders. The slanted shoulder, we came down by 1 inch. You can see me, it's slanted, okay, so that the sleeve will still wear on your shoulders. Okay, you can see this is what we have. This is what we have. Paola, our dress is ready. We have 2 pieces now, the front and the back. We have 2 pieces of fabric, the front and the back. Okay, so we'll be keeping the back, and we want to work on the front because of the neckline that we want to put. So this is the front. We already came down by 1. This is 3 inches and we came down by 1. So now I want to measure up to 8. Okay, we are measuring up to 8. From that 8, you mark it, chalk it down. Okay, want to do, okay, yes, you mark it down. Want to do a particular type of neckline. Then you come in by 1/2 inch. You come in by 1/2 inch, okay, because when you cut it at the end of the day, the 1/2 inch on this side and 1/2 inch on the other side is going to make it 1 inch. So now you connect from where you have your 3 inches width. You connect it up to the point where we came in by 1/2 inch. Okay, don't forget we measured 8 and we came in by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to be cutting it out now. You first of all cut the 1/2. Okay, you can see me cutting it. You cut the 1/2 and you follow the slanted line up to the neckline where we have 3 inches width. Okay, make sure your fabric is well aligned. Okay, yeah, this is what we have now. Okay, on this I'm going to be attaching a black fabric. I'm going to make a separate video on how I made it. So now we have this. We are going to be using this fabric now for the belt that will be inside the bubu to give us a snatched waist. So we'll be using this for the neckline. Okay, I have this 12 inches length and then 2.5 inches wide. If you open it, you will see it will give you 5, so I had to fold it into 2, and there is stay inside. So I'm going to get 2 of these for the neckline. In another video I'll be making, I will teach you how to make this neckline. Okay, and for the belt that will be inside the gown, the bubu waist snatch gown that we are making, we are going to make a belt inside. So this will be used for the belt. This is 2 inches and 22 inches long, so I'm going to be having 2 pieces of it. Okay, just for the belt inside the gown. So like the front of our dress that we're making, I told you we have 2 inches of this will be attaching to the neck. So we are going to place it this way and sew it. We'll now have something like this. Okay, we are going to do same on the other side. Then we are going to, for our belt, we are going to measure our half length. My half length is 16, so we are going to measure 16. Okay, on 16 I need to fold the fabric into 2 to get the midpoint. Once you get the midpoint, you measure 5 inches from here to this place and do same on the other side from one angle. Okay, when you measure your 16 inches, from that 16 inches, your waistline, you measure 5 inches from here and do same on the other side. This is 5 inches, 5 inches. So you mark it. When you chalk it down, under it, that is where you are going to be tacking the belt. Okay, you just take the belt and tack it under it. Do you get that? When you measure 5 inches from here, you tack your belt under it. Okay, I'll take all this to the machine. When I'm done, I'll bring it out for you to see what I've been able to achieve.